I'm Marcy Evans with Serenity Wellness Therapy. It's great to have you here today. Today's session is going to be focused on the foot and the foot to hip connection. So just making that energy flow from the ground up. We use this all of the time for walking, running, moving around. It's really important to understand that energy and how it flows from the ground up. Because those are neural connections, and those neural connections need to be made and cultivated. So we're going to start the practice today with a towel, and bare feet or soft feet is fine. You just want to make sure that you have a nice crease between your toes and the floor. So a little higher towel might be necessary if you have less flexibility through your foot. A little bit lower towel might be good if you have more flexibility in your foot. So it's all going to depend on how much flexibility, how much movement you get personally in your foot. So what I'll have you do is put this part of your foot right here between your toes and your foot on the very base of the towel. So your toes are on the towel and the rest of your foot is off the towel. Now from here, we want to keep our body right at the edge of the seat. So make sure that you're functioning and using your core a little bit here to stabilize you on the chair. From there, we'll move the feet out just a little bit. And we're just going to lift that heel off the floor. So go ahead and draw your heel up. And notice as you draw that heel up if you feel a connection in your hip joint. If you feel this up in right around your sit bone area, you should feel a nice engagement and connection. If you're not feeling that yet, it's okay. It just means that we haven't made the connection from the ground up yet. We're still focusing on that. So not the end of the world, don't give up and throw in the towel yet. We'll breathe in, we'll lift to the crease of the toes. Okay, you want to create a nice crease between the toes and the rest of the foot. And then exhale as you lower that heel and press the heel back away from the toes and keep the toes grounded. So it's important that as you're doing this, we're not letting the toes lift off. So now I'm going to try that again, but facing the side so you can see what this looks like from a side view. So you want to make sure you're sitting tall. You'll breathe in, you'll press into the toes as you lift your heel up and make that crease right between the toes and the rest of your foot. And you'll exhale as you push those toes into the ground, bring your heel back away from your toes. Imagine that you're pushing your heel backwards towards your body, okay? Let's do that 4 more times. So lift and press down. 2, and lift and press down. 3, and lift and press down and back. 4, and lift and then press down and back. 5. So it's not necessary that you do 100 of these. Actually 5 to 8 of each would be best. And just do it until you feel like you're getting that connection, and then stop. That's enough. You don't have to do them all day. All right, so let's try the other side. So again, centering your toes on the towel, and your rest of your foot is off the towel. So you should feel this part of your foot here hitting the floor, and the toes are lifted up on the towel. And again, a little higher towel if you have less flexibility through your foot. So we'll breathe in, come up to the toes, exhale, go ahead and push the heel back away from the toes, back towards your body. Inhale, lift the heel up, and exhale, go ahead and press down and back. 2, inhale, lifting up, exhale, press 3, inhale, lift up, exhale, press 4, 2 more, lift up, press back. 5, 1 more, lift up, and press back. 6. Good job. So again, trying to feel that connection in the hip. I like to think of a foot pump. So if you're just foot pumping and you're just using your heel, right? You come up, you push that heel down onto the pump and then lift up and keep the toes grounded on the pump. So I like to think of that like you're pushing air out of something. Okay, so that is exercise number 1 for your feet. Once we have that established and you're feeling some energy in your hip, I've got a couple more for you. All right, so I have a couple of standing exercises for the feet as well. Let's go ahead and start by shifting our weight and our energy onto our left side. So you'll feel that left hip cuff activate. You'll feel the left hip drawing up into its socket. The right side is going to be a little bit different. So as you stabilize on that left side, I want you to stay really strong and kind of lift that femur up into its socket. On the right side, we are going to lift up to the toes, find that crease between the toe and the foot, and then keep the toes grounded and push the heel down and back. So same as we did seated, just a little bit different when you're standing up. So we'll inhale, lift the heel up. Engage through that hip, go ahead and push the heel back and see if you can activate through that hip cuff as you press back. Should feel it again, kind of right around the sit bones in your buttock area. So let's try that 3 more times. We'll lift the heel up and push back and away. Good, lift the heel up and push back and away. Also check in that we're not shifting the energy between your hips. So you want to keep the hip energy very level. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, push back. 1 more time. Inhale, lift to the toes, and exhale, press that energy back and down. Good. So let's try the other side. We'll inhale, lift that left heel up. Exhale, push down and back. 1. Good. Inhale, lift your heel up. Keep that energy in both hips. Exhale, press down. 2. Good, inhale, lift that heel up, press down and back. 3, good, 2 more, inhale, lift, and exhale, press back. 4, 1 more, inhale, lift, and then press back. 5. Good, all right, give it a little shake. Excellent. So those are 2 exercises for the feet, and I have 1 more. And again, this is about, not just about the feet, because foot exercises are boring. This is more about getting the feet and the hips to interact with one another through that connection in your legs. So the neural connections as well, from the hip to the knee, to the ankle, to the toes. So let's go ahead and sink down. Now this time we're going to do a little squat. So I'll face the side. We're going to sink down into a little squat. You can reach the arms either forward or you can bring your hands on your hips. Either one is fine. And I'm going to have mine on my hips just so you can focus on what the feet are doing. So from here, let's go ahead and keep our weight centered. Okay, it's really important that when we start to lift one heel, that our weight stays centered on both hips and both feet. So we're not shifting our weight. So what happens sometimes is people will shift their weight over and kind of lean onto the stabilizing side. Okay, we want to keep the weight really centered and keep, as we lift the heel, keep the weight through the pelvis the same. So if hands are on the hips, the nice thing about this is you can feel if you're hiking one hip or lifting it up. So don't do that. Keep the hips really solid. We're going to inhale, lift the right heel 5 times. So lift and push back. 1. Keep your toes down. Lift. 2. Inhale, lift. 3. Good. Inhale, lift. 4. 1 more and lift. And 5. Notice my hips aren't changing position. If I had a level there, they would stay the same the entire time. Let's go ahead and switch. So left side comes up. Inhale, exhale. Push down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 more. 5. Good job. Come on up. Give it a little shake. Awesome. So now that we have done those, we should have a good foot to knee to hip connection, and you should be finding that energy coming through the legs. If it's not happening yet, don't worry, it will. You just have to keep practicing these exercises and doing them as a daily movement activity. Okay, so we want to keep doing these at least once a day until you start to feel it, and then you can cut back a little bit. So thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.